following is a presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Blackmore. We are Wisconsin.
A gorgeous Saturday night for baseball inside Miller Park. The Brewers trying to even up the series against the Houston Astros here in Game 2. The Astros surprising Milwaukee on Friday night. And the Brewers playoff hopes holding on by a thread. They're 5 games behind St. Louis with only 5 to play, so the math is easy. Milwaukee must win all 5. St. Louis must lose all 5. The Dodgers also figure into the mix, too. They have to lose at least 3. Our pitching matchup, Marco Estrada and Dallas Keuchel on the hill tonight. Estrada is 4-2 over his last 7 starts, but needs a bounce-back game today on the mound for Milwaukee. Ryan Braun is set to supply the offense in more ways than one. He had a 2 RBI double last night, a run, and a key stolen base in Friday's game, but not quite enough to get the Brewers over the hump. Hi, everybody. I'm Craig Kashan. Welcome to Game 2. The Astros and the Brewers here on Fox Sports Wisconsin. Ryan Braun hitting milestone after milestone after milestone, especially down the stretch this season. And last night seemed to be no different, this time on the base pass for Ryan Braun, notching his second 30 home run and 30 stolen base campaign. He's the only Brewer ever with back-to-back 30-30 seasons. He also joins Hall of Famer Hank Aaron as the only Milwaukee baseball major leaguers with a 40-30 year. Hank did it back in '63, and check out these numbers. The 2011 MVP enters this game leading the league in 7 major offensive categories, and he's in the top 5 in many, many more. So Ryan Braun ready to strut his stuff one more time in front of the home fans here at Miller Park. And a significant midseason trade has landed Gene Segura in a starting role at shortstop, and he is impressing his new club. Being Rock have the rookie's numbers when we come back.
Wisconsin is presented by Menards. Save big money on all your home improvement needs at Menards. by Miller Lite, because when friends come together, it's not just a good time, it's Miller time. By Toyota, when you choose Toyota, you get a lot for less. Toyota. And by AT&T, the nation's largest 4G network. AT&T, rethink possible. The last Saturday night at Miller Park in the regular season. Gene Segura out for some batting practice earlier today. Had 3 hits last night, including a double. He has been a great story this season. The rookie shortstop certainly has been a big part of the recent resurgence for the Milwaukee Brewers. Hi, everybody. We welcome you from Miller Park alongside Bill Schroeder. I'm Brian Anderson. Great to have you with us tonight. The Brewers and the Astros for Game 2 of this series. Obviously, the Brewers know they have to win out. That might not even be enough. They're going to need a miracle at this point. But the Brewers certainly have answered some questions, especially with their young shortstop, who we just saw a moment ago in Gene Segura.
And a guy that really hasn't played shortstop all that long. You'd never be able to tell the way this guy's been able to play. I mean, at the plate, to get off to a slow start, let's think about it. This guy's 22 years old, getting to the big leagues. I think he was a little bit overwhelmed, but as time went on, he started to settle in. He started to get his hits, everything up the middle for Segura. And defensively, he's been outstanding. He's got a tremendous throwing arm, good range, good soft hands. He's got 7 stolen bases in 8 attempts. He's certainly been one of the guys in this lineup, these young players that have certainly got the Brewers to where they got to at the end of the season, and it gives you good hope for next year.
Well, over his last 17 games, of the 39 he's played in the big league, Segura is hitting near 400. Back in the lineup tonight, the Brewers and the Astros. Milwaukee trying to win for the 81st time this year. Look at Rock breaking up last night. That was sweet. Brewers Stros, Game 2 coming up next on Fox Sports Wisconsin. Saturday night for baseball, big tailgating night outside Miller Park, and a good crowd expected here as the Brewers and the Astros get set for the second game of this series. And we can update the final from the Houston-Rice game. The Cougars win at 35-14 at Old Southwest Conference rivalry there. Houston beats Rice as that one has gone final. And we welcome that audience here to Brewers baseball tonight on Fox Sports Wisconsin. Tony DeFrancesco is managing the Astros the rest of the season. He says they're just gunning for a 500 month of September. They have a chance to do that. Astros won last night and putting the Brewers on the brink of elimination. Here is Tony D's Astros batting order, brought to you by Piggly Wiggly. Jose Altuve, Scott Moore, and Brett Wallace at the top of the order. Fernando Martinez is their cleanup hitter. Jason Castro and Matt Dominguez in the middle Tyler Green, Brandon Barnes, and Dallas Keuchel rounded out. And the starting 9 that will face Marco Estrada, and he's hoping to totally redeem himself here tonight, partner.
Yeah, he had a rough one against the Nationals. 4 innings. He gave up 6 earned runs, 7 runs overall. Gave up a 6-run 4th inning, and that start right after he had won 2 in a row where he did not allow a run in either start. So Marco Estrada looking to have a bounce back here tonight against the Houston Astros, where he has made 3 starts.
And let's check the defense behind Marco Estrada tonight. Braun, Gomez, Aoki in the outfield. An infield of Ramirez, Segura, Weeks, and Hart. And doing the catching tonight, Jonathan Lucroy. Battery of Lucroy and Estrada, the Menards Brewers defense, as Marco Estrada will make his final start of 2012. Andy Fletcher will call the balls and strikes. Country Joe West at first base. Mike McClinsky and Rob Drake join him on the bases. Roof is closed tonight. Panels are all sealed up as the temperature is expected to drop into the 50s once again tonight. Estrada's first pitch is up high for ball 1 on Jose Altuve, and away we go. .61 degrees outside Miller Park. It is a perfect, comfortable 70 degrees inside this great venue. And the Brewers with 5 more to play here at Miller Park. The Astros today and tomorrow afternoon, and then the Padres are here beginning on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday against San Diego to wrap up the regular season. The Brewers are 5 games back of the Cardinals in the wild card race, the 2nd spot in the wild card, and certainly odds are stacked against them in a big way. They need the Cardinals to lose all 5. The Brewers would need to win all 5, and the Dodgers would have to drop 3 as well. The Dodgers are ahead of Milwaukee right now.
Well, need a lot of help. The Brewers have lost 2 in a row, and they were in a position that they had to pretty much win out. Have not been able to do that.
Ball and a strike on Altuve, and a foul out of play. 1-2 the count. Now tonight is important because Milwaukee is trying to secure their 81st victory, and they have been stymied the last 2 games. And that late inning loss to the Reds on Thursday, and then losing last night to the Astros. 81 wins means a .500 season, which was looking pretty dim when the Brewers were 12 games out or 12 games under, as Altuve takes a breaking ball for a strike. And that's how the night begins for Marco Estrada.
Now this is one of the pitches that Marco had a tough time with against the Nationals, the curveball. Pulls Altuve. It was up in the strike zone, but able to catch the inside corner. It always seems to be one inning when Marco Estrada has a tough start that ends up costing him a game. I mean, he'll cruise along and all of a sudden give up 3 or 4 runs in an inning. Last time out, gave up a 6-run 4th inning against the Nationals.
Yeah, and it all started with a pitcher at the plate, Jordan Zimmerman, who had a 2-out RBI hit, and then Washington scored 6 runs with 2 outs and put Estrada in a big hole that he could not get out of, and it turned into to be a lopsided affair. At one point the Nationals led 9-0. So Estrada trying to finish up on a high note. He's had a good year for the Brewers this season, the most starts he has ever made. Estrada making his 23rd start of the year. He took over for Chris Narveson in the rotation. Narveson went out with shoulder surgery. Scott Moore with 1 away here in the first. And he pops this one up. That'll be in the seats.
Well, fastball command very important for Marco, getting ahead in the count and getting hitters in a defensive mode. That's when he's very effective with his changeup. And a good 3-1 fastball in the outside corner to Scott Moore.
Full count And a swing and a miss. Back-to-back strikeouts. Marco Estrada, one called, one swinging.
Well, Marco with now 134 strikeouts in 131 innings, so more strikeouts than innings pitched. Somewhat of a surprise for a guy like Estrada, who tops out at about 91 miles an hour.
Milwaukee pitching needs to average 10 strikeouts a game the rest of the season to achieve that major league strikeout record by a pitching staff set by the 03 Chicago Cubs. The Brewers have already established a new franchise record for strikeouts in a season by a staff. A team that is leading the league in homers offensively and stolen bases and runs scored. That would be a nice feat for them to accomplish. It's been a big strikeout year, and getting a lot of strikeouts from some unlikely pitchers. You wouldn't classify Marco Estrada as a big strikeout pitcher, but he's had some big strikeout games this year. Had a 12K game against Cincinnati earlier this year. And 3 times he's been in double digits in strikeouts. There's a fastball, 3-1 the count.
Man, it's not just a starting rotation. Guys out in the bullpen, big strikeout numbers. And that's what it takes when you have the strikeout numbers that the Brewers have been able to rack up this year.
Brett Wallace skies one. Big league pop-up. Ricky Weeks makes the catch, and a good start for Marco Estrada. 1-2-3 with a pair of Ks. Brewers are coming up. In the first, now Ron Renicky ready to roll out his lineup, going for win number 81 of the season here tonight. And the Piggly Wiggly batting order looks like this: Aoki, Weeks, and Braun, Ramirez, Hart, and Lucroy in the middle, and Renicky has Gomez, Segura, and Estrada rounding it out. Dallas Keuchel on the mound for Houston tonight. He's coming off back-to-back wins, and he'll be pitching for the 3rd time against Brewers this season.
Yeah, his last 3 starts, he's been throwing the baseball very well. A 1.10 earned run average in his last 3 starts, but 2 of those 3 starts, he's not able to go 6 innings. But he's been pitching much better. He's won 2 straight.
Aoki leads off. Made the final out last night. He bounced into a double play to end it. And right back in there here tonight. Keuchel spins one in for strike 2. Aoki, Weeks, and Braun to get us started here tonight. Nori comes in with a batting average of .285 as he pulls that one out to Altuve for out number 1. The Astros defensively: Fernando Martinez in left, Brandon Barnes in center with Scott Moore in right. On infield of Matt Dominguez, Tyler Green, the former Cardinal, Altuve, and then Wallace. And Jason Castro back behind the plate. Menard's Astros defense.
Astros played extremely well in last night's ball game. 4 home runs by the Astros and played solid defense. Got good starting pitching. Bullpen did a good job, but the Brewers able to come back. The Astros won by a single run. Guys were swinging the bat well last night.
Yeah, it was an entertaining game. The Brewers made a couple of errors last night, but for the most part, it wasn't a pitcher-friendly night at Miller Park. A lot of offense. And the Brewers kept knocking at the door. They just couldn't bust it open last night, although they were close. Castro had 2 home runs last night. Had 3 home runs all season leading up to last night's game and hit a pair in consecutive at-bats last night. As Ricky Weeks fouls it away. Ricky Weeks hitting .230 starting play today with 20 homers, 61 runs batted in. Ball and 2 strikes on Weeks as Keuchel misses high.
Keuchel doesn't throw very hard. 86 to 88 miles an hour with the fastball, but has a pretty good changeup, and he's been using that pitch very effectively lately. There was a stretch where he had lost 7 straight decisions. But he's won his last 2.
He started the year in the minor leagues. He was called up from AAA Oklahoma City in mid-June and won his second start. As a matter of fact, he went the distance in his second big league start against the Cleveland Indians in interleague play. Gave up just 1 run and picked up his first major league win, and did not win again until September 15th. Now back-to-back victories against the Phillies and the Pirates as Weeks strikes out for out number 2. First strikeout for Keuchel. And that'll bring up Ryan Braun now. Well, last night Braun achieved another milestone. You might remember last year, it was in September, Braun had 2 home runs against the Reds, and that gave him a 30-30 season. Just the second player in franchise history to do it. Braun had 33 homers, 33 steals last year. Well, last night, his 30th stolen base to go along with his 41 home runs, and becoming just the 3rd occasion to do a 30-30 season. Tommy Harper is the other. Braun's done it twice. So 2 players 3 times. And it's a pretty rarefied air across the history of Major League Baseball to go 40-30 in a season.
Nobody having a better year this year in either league than Ryan Braun. When you consider everything that he's able to do to help you win a game.
There have only been 9 different players in the history of baseball to hit at least 40 home runs and steal at least 30 bases. Ball to strike on Braun. And a slow roller right back to Keuchel. That's a 1-2-3 inning. Brewers go in order in the first. We head to the second. Astros coming up.
Estrada with a 1-2-3 first inning. An update now on Willie Peralta, who threw a bullpen session today. There was some soreness in his right bicep. Ron Renicky says Willie won't pitch again this season. He'll be shut down. He was scheduled to start Tuesday against the Padres. The Brewers haven't decided who will start that day, but Renicky says most likely it will be either Livan Hernandez, Tyler Thornburg, or Josh Stinson. The Brewers taking no chances with their 23-year-old ace and his big arm, guys.
And you can't blame him for that. Peralta left Thursday afternoon's game in Cincinnati with tightness in his bicep, and they will not chance it. So call it a successful 2012 for Willie Peralta.
Yeah, no doubt. Only one start that you could say wasn't a very good one. Yeah, threw well against Cincinnati, but had a rough time against the Nationals.
Gives you a lot of hope moving forward to see an arm like that surface at the major league level.
And it wasn't just his fastball. I mean, reaching 98 miles an hour. What impresses you about Peralta, the other pitches, the curveball, actually the slider and the changeup. Changeup, very impressive. Didn't even know he had one. He was working on one.
2 balls and a strike on Fernando Martinez, who would be probably the most unusual cleanup hitter in all major league lineups today.
And not many cleanup hitters at 219, but he does draw a walk.
So the first blemish against Marco Estrada, a leadoff walk to Martinez, and it'll bring up Jason Castro now. Castro with a career night last night, his first multi-homer game.
And one to left, one to right. He looked good at the plate. Not a guy that you would associate with a big home run total.
And there's a strike on the outside corner. Now Estrada is one of those guys as well that is probably extended a little more than he imagined, and there was a lot of talk about shutting Estrada down prior to September, prior to the Brewers getting on this great run, which really started on August 20th. And I think if the Brewers don't win so many games and put themselves back in the wild card picture, probably would have seen Peralta, Mike Fiers, Marco Estrada, would have seen all those guys shut down for the season. But Ron Renicky knows how important the games were as they started to fight their way back, and had some great efforts from all of those pitchers. That's what's so encouraging about the comeback of the Brewers. If you haven't been with us and you're just picking us up, they were 12 games under 500 on August 19th. It looked like a lost season, and in a month's time they turned it into a pennant race. Renicky was about as down as we've seen him all year last night after the game. A lazy pop-up in foul territory. Hard, easy one here for the first out.
And he wasn't the only one. I think the last couple of games really has taken its toll on this team, especially that game against Cincinnati. And win there, and all of a sudden you are right in the thick of things. But and not the case. But you got to keep going. I mean, until you're mathematically eliminated, you have to go for it. I don't think, even regardless of what happens, I don't think any of these guys want to sit out. They want to keep playing.
Well, the Brewers were a game and a half back last Friday. Going into the ball game Saturday in D.C., they were 1.5 back of the Cardinals. And they've lost 4 out of 5 now, and the Brewers with back-to-back losses. Meanwhile, the Cardinals just keep rolling, and you got to give them some credit as well. They've done a nice job. They have beaten the teams they are supposed to. They had that 9-game stretch against Houston and Chicago. They went 7-2. 6 of those games against Houston. Cardinals play tonight. They will host the Washington Nationals. The Nationals still in a dogfight for the division. Washington coming into play tonight is 4 games up with 5 to play. But they can't shake the Braves.
Yeah, Braves lost an opportunity last night. I mean, both Atlanta and Washington lost last night. An opportunity to pick up another game. It's going to be tough for Atlanta, who's already in the playoffs. But you never know, do you?
How about Washington giving to the Cardinals what they received yesterday? Washington has 4 runs in the first inning in St. Louis tonight. Still batting in the first inning.
And Cardinals, what, 9 runs in the first 2 innings last night?
Yeah, scored 5 in the first against Edwin Jackson. And they're doing that against Kyle Loesch of the Cardinals. So we'll keep an eye on those games. You never know. Oh, and 2 the count on Dominguez with 1 away. Four of the 5 spots for the National League postseason are already in the books. Giants and the Reds winning their divisions. As Dominguez swings and misses. 3rd strikeout for Marco Estrada. 2 gone.
Hey, come out to Miller Park as the Brewers host the San Diego Padres starting on Monday for the final home games of the 2012 season. For tickets, call 414-902-4000. Final series of the year here at Miller Park. Regular season. Still holding on hope.
Woody's got a fan club out there, Rock. Do you see that? Our venerable first base dugout cameraman.
They should be around first base, shouldn't they?
Yeah. I thought he probably could do better than that, get better seats than that, but I guess not. There's Woody giving you all the great shots. Tyler Green at the plate. Former Cardinals shortstop now getting some time here with Houston. Green homered against Milwaukee as an Astro. 2 outs in the Houston 2nd inning. And it goes to 2-1. Great tailgating scene today. Just a billow of smoke above Miller Park as you drove in.
Every day.
Just perfect weather. I mean, it was ideal. Had the tents out, and nobody does tailgating better than Wisconsinites.
Got to watch the bees though this time of year.
Good point.
Cover the drink.
They don't want to swallow a bee. That happens. Just a little rattle.
I'm sure you've been stung by a bee, right?
I have. I got stung by a bee. You'll love this story, Rock. I was catching my brother mid-pitch, right in the neck.
Wow.
I caught it, by the way.
Yeah, I was going to ask.
You know. Got to finish the play. Then he came over and he pulled the stinger out.
And then roll around in agony.
Squealed like a girl. Didn't hurt as bad as I thought it would.
Feels good when it stops hurting.
Yeah. That's the line of the year, Rock. Full count to Green. Runner goes, and a line drive deep center field. Gomez runs it down. Carlos Gomez. He's made play after play this year. Add another one to the reel. Gomez tracks it down. Look how much ground he covers. Brewers coming up as Aramis Ramirez will lead off. Tonight's Subway Sub Prize on the line is the National League wild card race. You see the Atlanta Braves, they've secured a postseason berth, and they are 6 up on the St. Louis Cardinals. They will host a wild card game, or they could still win the division. Then the Cardinals, the Dodgers chasing. Lights are dimming for the Dodgers and the Brew Crew at this point. Aramis Ramirez to start it against Keuchel. He's homered against this pitcher. 4 for 6 against him this season, including that home run. As Ramirez takes a strike. Well, stay with us. We're going to be joined by Doug Melvin in the 3rd inning. We'll catch up with the Brewers general manager. It's a fan appreciation weekend here at Miller Park.
Giving away a car tonight. 2013 Camaro.
Employees are not eligible, Rob.
No. Nice car, though. I saw it.
Convertible days coming to an end here in Wisconsin. Two and 2 on Ramirez. He got jammed. He pulls it foul. Aramis still making a bid at that franchise record for doubles in a season. He needs 3. I thought when he popped his 50th double of the season that was going to be a done deal, but it just gives you an idea how tough it is.
They hit a triple last night.
He thought about stopping, but
should have, right? He's a team player.
Yeah, he is. Had a triple last night, drove in a run. What a great year. Ramirez with 101 runs batted in, 26 homers. Comes into play today batting .296. That one's in the air, deep left center field. That is way back. Got a chance. There it goes. Aramis Ramirez, number 27, and the Brewers have a 1-0 lead as Ramirez hits his 2nd home run of the year against Dallas Keuchel.
Yeah, got a little bit too much of the play. It looked like a cutter. And he continues to swing the bat well against Keuchel. Now 5 for 7 with a couple of homers, and Keuchel missed his spot. That's the 12th home run he's given up. Number 27 for Ramirez, deep into left center.
Here's Corey Hart now, takes one up and away. So Ramirez, number 27, gives him 102 runs batted in. A tremendous season. It gives him an opportunity to hit 30 this year. And 4 games remaining after today.
Well, he's basically doing this year what he's done throughout his career. I mean, no surprise that he's doing this. Year after year, he's just a good run producer, very consistent year to year.
Somehow Doug Melvin and Ron Renicky are going to have to convince Aramis Ramirez that opening day next year is actually mid-June. Something like that.
Maybe bring him down in January to start spring training.
Yeah. Get him a few games in. Tell him you're 50, 60 games into the season.
You can only imagine how many RBIs he would have if he gets off to a good start, which he very rarely ever has.
3-1 to Hart, and that ball's hit well, deep left center field, way back and out of here. Back-to-back home runs as Corey Hart, a la Kirk Gibson, hobbles around the bases.
You got to tip your hat to Corey Hart for being out there. He is in a lot of pain. And a happy jog around the bases that time. All taped up, getting treatment every day. Another cut fastball that was supposed to backdoor the outside corner, and looked as though Hart was waiting for it, able to hook it out of here. hit the bag, and I think it didn't feel too good.
Yeah, left foot has torn plantar fascia in the arch of his foot.
Everything was fine until he hit the bag.
He wasn't sure if it was going out, so he tried to step on it a little bit in case he needed to leg it out. And he got to jog the rest of the way. Good for Hart, number 29 of the year. That gives him 80 runs batted in for the season. Well, what a trio. Braun, Ramirez, and Corey Hart and the updated Powerball home run leaderboard. Hart pushing 30. Ramirez 3 away from a 30 homer season.
3 more home runs for the Brewers, and they have 200 for the season.
Lucroy breaks his bat. That will fall. A base hit. So a single after the 2 homers. Keuchel has not retired a Brewer in the second inning.
And Lucroy staying on this pitch nicely. Off-speed pitch, and he broke his bat, but able to dump it into center field. And the beat goes on here in the second inning.
And now Carlos Gomez having a career year with the long ball as well. Hit number 18 last night. Gomez has homered in back-to-back games. Responsible for the only run in Cincinnati on Thursday, an opposite field home run. Most of his home runs are from center field to left. He's a pull home run hitter. That's why it was encouraging to see him go opposite field in Cincinnati. Gomez to the opposite field. That is down foul. Just foul. Close call.
And not by much. Little slice job down the right field line. And that would have been interesting to watch Gomez run. Might have caught Ramirez. Or I should say Lucroy.
Not by much.
Yeah, about a foot.
How about Carlos Gomez? You look at his first 70 games, hitting .233, was injured, came back, .277, a bunch of home runs as well, 13 of them over the last 62. And Gomez still has a chance to win the stolen base crown this year. Michael Bourne is the National League leader in stolen bases with 39. Gomez has 36 starting play today. Rips out and foul from line to line.
Yep, covering both sides of the plate pretty well. Change up on the outside corner, dumps it, tried to get it down the right field line. Then he tried to come to the cutter and hooked it foul to left.
Two and two on Gomez. Now, just as rare as it is to see a player hit 40 homers and steal 30 bases, rare to see a player hit at least 20 homers and steal 40 as Gomez strikes out. Mike Trout's the only other one to do it this year in the league, in the American League. Gomez retired, it's first out, second strikeout, and that'll bring up Gene Segura. We talked about Segura during our open today, and this guy has been on some kind of roll at the plate rock over his last 17 games. He's hitting .396.
And just watch the way he just stays back. He's allowing the baseball to get to him. He had 3 hits yesterday. 1 to center, 1 to right, 1 to left. He's hitting it where it's pitched, and he's up there showing a lot of confidence. Very relaxed up at the plate, letting the ball travel and putting a good swing on it.
Segura had 3 hits last night against Houston, giving him 8 hits for the season against the Astros. He's 8 for 15, a .533 batting average against the Astros. And his second 3-hit game of his career last night. Still looking for his first big league home run. Talking to Johnny Naran, the Brewers hitting coach. He said he thinks Segura is going to hit some home runs in the big leagues. He regularly goes up into the second level in batting practice, which showed you he's got power.
I think John just assumed have him do what he's been doing.
Don't want him to get home run happy,
hitting the ball where it's pitched, getting on, stealing some bases. He's done a pretty good job in that number 8 spot that ordinarily is not an easy spot to hit. Hitting in front of the pitcher.
How about that September? The key piece in the Zach Greinke deal coming over from the Angels. Never played above Double-A until this season. He made 1 start at short for the Angels this year. And has been a regular here in the final month of the season.
Showing good patience in this at bat. This is what makes hitting in front of the pitcher tough. I mean, pitchers will try and get you to swing out of the zone. Scorer needs to stay disciplined, and he has been so far in this at bat.
Still just 1 out. Back-to-back homers to start the inning. 2-0 the Brewers lead. And Segura takes ball 4. Walked him on 4 straight. First walk issued by Keuchel, and now 2 on for Marco Estrada. That'll give us a chance to look at our carsoup.com email the booth question tonight. Sam in Jefferson, what is your favorite thing about Miller Park?
That's a trick question. I like everything about Miller Park. The fact that the Brewers win here a lot has a lot to do with liking to be here. The roof. How many games has the roof saved us here at this ballpark? The fans and their support. How about the food?
Yeah, all that's good. I go with the roof.
I think you'd have an easier time answering the question, what don't you like about Miller Park? Really can't think of anything.
Well, you played at County Stadium, and you certainly did this job at County Stadium, and it changes everything having that roof and knowing you're going to play and the climate control.
Well, the conditions and the facilities that the players get to enjoy and the fan experience, it's an amazing place.
The Brewers are 46-30 here in their home ballpark this year. 16 over 500. Two on, 1 out. Estrada trying to bunt him over right in front of the plate. It's a good one. Castro will make the play. And a sacrifice bunt for Marco Estrada, advancing both runners.
An excellent bunt. I mean, with everybody crashing like that, that's about the only way you're going to be able to get the man over. Just deaden it right in front of home plate, and that's what he did. Check out the corners coming in. You can't see him, but good technique. He gets that bat out in front. Catches the baseball at the end of the bat, and that's about the only spot you can bunt that baseball and advance the runner. Marco's had a nice year this year.
So here is Aoki now. And a base hit could add 2 more to this 2-0 lead for the Brew Crew. As Estrada with his 3rd sac bunt, Aoki fouls it away. Nori Aoki has as many home runs as Joe Mauer. Surprising power from Aoki this season. Hit number 10 in Cincinnati. It's jammed, a little flare, tough play, that will fall, and 2 runs will score. Segura flying around the bases. Off with a crack of the bat with 2 outs, and Aoki picks up a pair of RBIs. The Brewers have a 4-0 lead.
Good patience by Gene Segura, then Estrada able to get the bunt down, and Aoki didn't hit it very hard, a hanging curveball, but able to pull the hands in. Watch him pull the hands in and try and get enough of that baseball. Just dumps it into center field, and with 2 outs, Jean Segura flying around third base. Scores run number 4.
So Segura draws a walk, a 4-pitch walk, comes around to score. 2 RBIs for Nori Aoki gives him 50 for the season. And here is Ricky Weeks. Pitch out, nothing on. Aoki's been a big stolen base threat as well. He has 28 steals this year. What an inning for Milwaukee. 4 runs in, back-to-back homers to start the inning. 4 runs on 4 hits and a walk.
Yeah, 28 for 35 is okay, not a bad percentage. Anytime you're around 70 to 75%, you're doing a pretty good job.
Well, for years, Ricky Weeks had the leadoff spot to himself. He flourished in that role as well. He was an all-star as a leadoff hitter. Big power threat at the top of the order. But Aoki fits the bill a little bit better. And that's been his job for just about all of the second half of the season. 2-0 on Weeks. Bouncing ball to short. And Green will make the play to end the inning. Good inning. The Brewers score 4. Started with back-to-back homers. Aramis Ramirez, number 27. Followed by Corey Hart, who popped his 29th of the year. The official supermarket of Fox Sports Wisconsin. By Ho-Chunk Gaming Wisconsin, your ticket to more. And by Marshfield Clinic. Don't just live, shine. Saturday night at Miller Park, Milwaukee. And the Brewers have a 4-0 lead as we go to the 3rd inning. And we're pleased to be joined now by the Brewers GM Doug Melvin. And Doug, great to have you with us. We had a chance to talk to Mark Atanasio last night. I'm sure you're having mixed emotions right now. It's been a great comeback for the Brewers, but certainly it's going to be tough to accomplish your ultimate goal at this point.
I wish we had about 2 more weeks left, but you know, we're still we're going to be like the Seattle Seahawks and play it right till the end, till the last play. And that. But yeah, it's a lot of good things have come out of our season, even though it's been disappointing. We're not satisfied with where we're going to end up. You build your club. I've always said, in a market like ours, you build your club for 85, 86 wins, and hope that the baseball gods are on your side, and they were last year. We stayed healthy. We had all 5 starters pitching in the rotation the entire year. That's what the Reds have had this year. So, you know, that's one of the key things. You get big years out of somebody maybe you didn't count on. We did that with Niger last year. Aoki's doing it this year for us. But a lot of good things happened. Great things happened last year. A lot of good things happened this year. But you know, we're still in it. I'm not going to eliminate. You know, the Cardinals teams do have 5- and 6-game losing streaks and 5- and 6-game winning streaks. So we're ahead 4-0. I see they're losing, so we're still scoreboard watching.
Yeah, might as well. And the Brewers are 5 back of the Cardinals with 5 to play. St. Louis occupies that second wild card spot. As you go through the season and as we watch Willie Peralta emerge, Mark Rogers, Mike Fiers, Tyler Thornburg even, I guess the news of the day today is Willie Peralta. Can you just kind of take us through the decision making as the sack bunt is dropped down by Keuchel? The decision making on shutting him down for the rest of the year.
Yeah, I think he threw the side. I haven't been downstairs today yet, but threw out in the bullpen, and I think still had a little bit of tightness. So the best thing is for him not to pitch. It doesn't appear to be anything serious, nothing elbow related. Probably could be some fatigue, but while he's still got tightness, we might as well just get it treated. And I think he went out there and showed the kind of ability he has, and we've had a lot of people that have believed in him up to this point. I know halfway through this year he was at a point where consideration of sending him to Double-A to try to get on track, but we stayed with him. Fred Dabney's done an outstanding job with a lot of our pitchers through our system at Triple-A, and you could see his stuff and how he pitched against Cincinnati the other day in the game against Miami, and he can fit in. You're always looking at that number 1, 2, 3 starter candidates, and he's definitely one of those guys that has that kind of ability.
And looking forward, I mean, you got to be excited about going into 2013. Not to minimize, this season's not over yet, but you know, looking to 2013, I mean, potentially you could have a pretty young starting rotation. How would that affect what you do with the rest of your ball club?
Well, you know, it's the other part of it is that from a positional standpoint, we like our club positional wise too. We don't have any free agents out there. We've gone along. We've ended up finding ourselves a shortstop now. We had no shortstop. I'd say 2.5 years ago we had no catching. We got LaCroix and we have Maldonado now. We got a center fielder in Gomez that's got a chance to be out there playing every day. Another year with him. So we have a lot of people returning. You know, a couple of the guys in the bullpen will be evaluated. Will be evaluated, and then we'll make some decisions there. But you know, we got John Axford's back, Jim Henderson's back, so there's a lot of talent still here that's going to return, and that's what's very encouraging for our fans. I hope they see the same thing, and I think they do by coming out here this week and showing the appreciation. We appreciate what they contribute as part of our winning process, and that, so they see that too, and that's what's encouraging about next year.
Now these inexperienced guys, you talked about Henderson, you talked about Segura, these guys, some of your young pitchers.
Oh, Ricky Weeks makes the play, and a double play to end the inning. Oh man, what a catch. Ricky Weeks showing the hops. Goes up the ladder and brings home a line drive off the bat of Altuve. Turns it into 2 outs. More with Doug Melvin when we continue.